Forton for Michigan Matters. Um, Today's June 19th, and we are going to talk about a couple of little things here. Shouldn't be very long, but I'd like to first bring up this Chinese students' biological pathogens coming into U of M, Michigan, University of Michigan, I'm sorry. And this is a little bit old news in a sense. It's a few days old. It happened. But what's aggravating is yesterday. Yesterday, I heard in today's environment, we don't hardly know what all's true and what isn't, but I heard they're working on a plea deal. We have a couple foreign nationals who happen to be students, the endless number of Chinese and foreign national students in our universities, bringing pathogens in from communist Red China into Michigan. These pathogens, according to an article I have here, it's a disease that affects certain plants like wheat, corn, rice, barley, that type of thing. We have been under attack by communist Red China for a long time. Communist Red China attacked us and the world in order to remove Trump as president with COVID-19. It came from them. We have nothing but all kinds of immigration going on, spying going on. We gave them our factories. We gave them everything. Our stupid politicians felt that, if we taught them capitalism, they would realize that it's a whole lot better than filthy, murderous communism, and that would be wonderful, and they would stop being communist. Instead, they learned how to use capitalism to suck up our industries, tear up our wealth, destroy our standard of living, go after our people, and that's what they've used it for. They're just as communist as they ever were. They're just as evil as they ever were. They want the destruction of the United States. They're building a navy with your money and mine. We buy a Chinese shirt, and the profits goes to their navy. This is a bunch of garbage going on, and it's about time our politicians stood up. Now, some states have. There are states, off the top of my head, I forget, I think Huckabee State, they passed laws that Chinese can no longer buy or cannot own farmland in their state. That should be such a brainless operation. It should be so simple to pass legislation like that. But in a socialist state like we have, that ain't going to happen. As long as the socialists run Michigan, we're not going to be free. And that's all there is to it. We're going to have these issues and these problems. But they're buying land near our military bases, and they're spying on our military here at home. And they're bringing in pathogens, they're doing all this kind of thing. So in my mind, that's got to be stopped. To me, it's such a 2 and 2 is 4, ladies and gentlemen. These people are not going after our best interests. They're not trying to win us over by friendship. That's for sure. Also, something that is adjacent to that is the Democrat Party and their functions in Minnesota. As you know, Melissa Hartman, a Democrat state rep in Minnesota, has been murdered. Also, a state senator named John Hoffman has been shot. I believe their spouses were shot also. I think, I forget who all died, but I definitely know that Melissa did. And I think Hoffman is still alive. And here, yesterday, there's a guy out there in the news saying how this is Trump's fault. It just cracks me up. Everything's Trump's fault. If somebody in Zurich, Switzerland gets a flat tire in their car, Trump did it. This is just maddening. It's clear who did it. The shooter was associated with the governor of Minnesota, who is a total screwball. So he's associated with him. These two people voted to take illegal aliens off of free health care in Minnesota. And then they're shot. Gee, this is really random, isn't it? No, the Democrats are teaching other Democrats you don't break ranks. That's what they're doing here. These people were hit. They were hit. They were murdered. Or she was murdered. He was attempted murder. This stuff's got to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Democrats, they're exactly like communists. They do something terrible, and they blame the other side for doing it. This has been going on forever. Now it's at the level of murder. And this stuff has got to stop. How long before it's Michigan? I want Michigan Democrats to start voting right. And let's say one of them did. Are they going to be on a hit list? And again, What did they vote for? They voted to remove illegal, they call them undocumented. They're illegal aliens sucking up American money. There are plenty of poor Americans that need health care. We got no shortage because we got a lot of poor Americans because our politicians gave everything to China. That's why we got poor Americans. It used to be you walked into a store, you bought a pair of shoes, they're made here. Period. No matter what you bought, it's made here. You bought Q-tips, they're made here. Not no more. All them jobs are gone. Given away by stupid politicians, starting with Richard Nixon in his opening up China. We defeated the Soviet Union, and we bragged around saying we defeated communism. No, we did not. We still treat the Soviet Union like they're communists, and they're not. They're Russia, and they're not communist. You might disagree with them. We might not like Putin, but they're not communists. Communist Red Chinese have never stopped being communists. And we're feeding them, we're giving them everything. They're building a navy against us. They're all this spying and everything else. Pathogens, COVID-19, it don't stop. And we just sit there like nothing's going on. So anyway, now on a different twist, a different note, we have Alberta and Saskatchewan uniting in Canada. Now, I've been following Danielle Smith for a while because I find it very, very interesting. Canada is basically pretty socialistic in a sense. They're conservative Canadians, a lot of them, but not conservative like here. They're used to their socialized medicine. Many of them seem to like it. There's a certain element of the socialist mindset. So when Trump comes out and says, oh, Canada should be a 51st state, it scares me because I don't need two more Democrat senators. I'm sorry. We don't need all that. We don't need a bunch of Democrat national House reps. That's for sure. But I think what he did is he stirred the pot. The Canadian people are like any other people of any other nation. They have a lot of love and pride for their country, and rightfully so. So they get mad. The American president is saying you should be the 51st state, and they get all bent out of shape, right? So what do? They rebel and they vote for this Mark guy. I forget his last name. I forget a lot of names. But anyway, they vote for him in response, and everybody blames Trump for that. Well, I thank Trump for that because the Canadian people elected this goof, and he's harder than anybody else on Saskatchewan and Alberta. These are the money bank of Canada. Alberta is where the money comes from, the oil, the this, the that. And they pass all kinds of laws in Ottawa restricting that, the green stuff and everything else. In Alberta, with their excellent premier, Danielle Smith, pushing back. And Alberta, they're passing out a petition for succession, leaving the Canadian Union, I guess you'd call it. Now, she has been very vocal and very pragmatic, and she's been saying, I am opposed to that. My citizens have a right to do that, but I'm opposed to the idea. I want to make a deal with Ottawa and get this straightened out. And she's been working at it for weeks. She isn't getting anywhere, but she's been working at it. So in the meantime, even though she does not approve of this petition, Alberta has made it simpler to accumulate such a petition, which is interesting. So I think the move in Alberta is more real than the move in the past for Quebec and things like that. And I think it'd be wonderful if Alberta did succeed. And now they joined up with Saskatchewan, which I believe is the westerly province. And they have an agenda, a 6-point agenda, most of which is green stuff. But the last one, they're saying the 6 major goals, and the last one is to remove all tariffs between the United States and Canada and them. Remove all tariffs between Saskatchewan, Alberta, and U.S. so they can have free trade of oil, the free trade of everything, which is absolutely wonderful. And I think Trump would just love that too. And it would also make North America, the independent countries of Quebec, Saskatchewan, United States, would be the global powerhouse for energy. It'd benefit the entire world to make energy, get rid of this green garbage, and get back to where we should be getting, and have inexpensive energy and more jobs, more manufacturing, more everything. I think it'd be absolutely wonderful. So that's going on while everything else is going on. And I think it's very important to watch this. I think we should be praying for Alberta and Saskatchewan that they do the right thing by their people, whatever that may be. I mean, I don't really know what that is. It just looks like it to me. But we should be praying for them, praying for us, and so on. And I think there's a real bright future there. And we can do a whole lot for mankind in general and peace in general if we could stop warring over oil and start sharing it, selling it, so on and so forth. It'd be great. Anyway, then there's the current Iran situation. All I want to say about that is pray for our country, pray for our president. Trump has given it 2 more weeks. He's announced, I think, today that, well, we're going to go 2 weeks and see if we can't make diplomacy work. I know in my heart of hearts, and I think many of you do too, that Trump really is fed up with this endless war crap. He's fed up with this Russian-Ukraine thing, and now we got Israel kicking this up with Iran, rightfully or wrongfully. I'm not talking about that, but this stuff has got to stop. Now, I think he really wants peace, but believe me, his enemies in the world, which could include Netanyahu and all them too, the global leadership love the way it was. And they don't want peace. They don't want prosperity. They want one world government and so on and so forth. That's what they want. So they would love to see Trump fail. And if this war is not stopped, if these wars aren't stopped, that's what the left-wing socialist Democrats are going to say. He failed. He didn't want peace. He just attacked Iran. He just did this. He did that. He didn't want peace. The same old garbage, right? So we got to pray for Putin. We got to pray for that Sawinski, whatever his name is. We got to pray for Netanyahu and whoever the screwball is that runs Iran. We got to pray for this stuff and hope and pray that somehow we get solutions to some of these problems and end all the killing, because now we got them dying in Iran and in Israel too. So I'm not a peacenik. When you have to go to war, you have to go to war. But we've been going to wars we did not have to go to. We've lost people and killed people. We did not have to kill or lose. And this stuff's got to stop, because it was all George Bush policies of regime change and all this garbage. And that's been Netanyahu's thing too. Netanyahu, a few years ago, I just watched the video again, where he's telling everybody, oh, if we get rid of Saddam Hussein and his weapons of mass destruction, which did not exist, him and George Bush, we got to get rid of weapons of mass destruction. And we got rid of Saddam Hussein, the only person preventing Iran that we gave to the mullahs, Jimmy Carter did. But he was the buffer against them. We got rid of him, and now there's no buffer. So now we've got bombs going off in Iran and in Israel. And we're involved in all of it. Needlessly. So anyway, pray for the president that he makes wise decisions, that the Lord will direct him in doing the right thing, whatever that may be. Because we don't know what he knows. It's easy for us. We look at the news and we make our own assumptions and deductions and so on. But anyway, pray for him. Now, there's some things coming up. Vets Returning Home is got another building, and they're having a warehouse blowout sale. And Vets Returning Home is a fantastic organization in Michigan. They don't take federal or government funding. Sandy Bauer runs the thing. She makes no income on it. She houses a whole lot of veterans. I think she's the only organization in Michigan that has housing for female veterans. And she does a wonderful, wonderful job. And she's been very supportive, and we support her all the time. And we'd like you to know about it, so you can find that on our website. That event is happening Thursday, June 26th from 5 to 9, I believe. Well, anyway, look and get the details on there, because I got a sheet here I'm going off of, which may not be accurate. But anyway, after that, we have Michigan Matters meeting on June 26th. That is going to be at Shelby Gardens. You'll find the details for that on the website in a newsletter. Go to michiganmatters.org, and at the top there's a newsletter. It's free, and just put your email address and your name, and you will start getting the newsletter every week, where you can keep up with this sort of thing. Also, on the website is a calendar, and you can see what's going on there. Also, on July 1st, we're going to have a Euchre Day, or evening. I'm not sure which. The details will be coming up soon here. But on July 1st, we're having Euchre at the office at 39099 Garfield in Clinton Township. And but on the 26th is our meeting, like I mentioned, at Shelby Gardens, and Monica Yatoma is going to be there. She's a candidate, I think, not announced yet, but she's going to be a candidate, I believe, for Secretary of State. And you'll be able to talk to her, hear from her, ask her questions and everything else, and get to know her a little bit, which is important that we get to know our candidates. We need candidates in the state of Michigan for governor, United States Senate, United States Congress. We have to look at all these people, whether incumbent or no matter what. Who is going to support Trump's agenda? So far, they really are not. They're giving it a whole lot of lip service. 140 executive orders. How many have been codified? Not very many. I don't think 10 have yet. The Republicans are not properly supporting Trump, pure and simple. And they've got to do it. They got to stop being swamp rats, and they got to get out there and be pro-American heroes. That's what they have to be. We need to pass Trump's agenda. If part of the agenda don't work, then we change it. It'd be awful easy to get rid of something, believe me. So anyway, we got to get that agenda passed. We have to make America great again. We have to make Michigan great again, because right now we're in big trouble in Michigan. Big trouble. But anyway, thank you. Hope to see you soon. Pray for your country, our families, and everything. God bless America and Michigan. Thank you.